welcome back to the 410. My name is Adrian, your host, and we're back on a Sunday. The Orioles have rescued me, thank goodness. We're going to talk about their big win against Toronto yesterday, and also today wraps up the NBA regular season. So you know we got to get into some picks, and of course, the playoffs getting ready to come around the corner, so I got to talk about some playoff seeding, and then of course I have a special edition tomorrow for you, an NBA playoff preview, so we can break down all of the possibilities, and a special something for you today. Somebody I know they don't think I've been paying them any mind, but they've been overseas balling, y'all, and I got to bring them to your attention here on the 410, so we're going to talk about that as well. But before we get into any of that, K-Hill Electric on standby. They can't wait for you to give them a call so they can show and prove the best price, the best service in town, y'all. Just let them know you heard about them here on the 410, and they're going to make sure they hold me to that. All right, getting into the Orioles. Of course, they had me on strike. I was holding out until these people showed me what I needed to see, and they had a rain out, gave me an extra day off, gave them an extra day off. We had Santana come back in the building. We gave him a standing ovation, y'all, and what did he do? He belted a home runner in our face, but that's okay. That's why they signed him to that big money, because that's what he does. But the Orioles, we had to bounce back. No way we could lose this game. Adley Crushman, he came through with a homer. Heston Kjerstad, he came through with a homer. Cedric Mullins, he drove two in. And then Mountain, he came in with a big save here to give us a complete game and hopefully some momentum moving into the day. Where we play again today at 1:30. Hopefully we're going to get the job done. I'm going to make a bold prediction here and say this will be the Orioles' first back-to-back win all year. All right, before we get into the NBA, I got to talk about somebody I've been paying attention to. Been playing down in the SEBA Copa League in Mexico. That's Mr. Greg Whittington. He's been absolutely balling. You may remember him playing out of Georgetown, but he's been bouncing around like an assassin overseas, taking care of business. And his latest work here has been with Halcones de Obregon, and he's been absolutely balling, y'all. I got a few highlights for you to check out, and of course, he's been acting like a monster. They did, however, take a loss last night, 76-73, or however you want to call it. They played at 11:15 in Mexico, y'all. So you tell me what time that was. Come on, man. You had 5 turnovers against that team there. You had nothing but dubs, man. You only had 17 yesterday. Y'all lost by 3. And I'm just going to jump out on a limb and say, if you had your same 20-21, y'all would have been all good yesterday, Greg. You know I'm motivating you. Get the job done, man. They got a game coming up April the 14th. Pay attention to Greg. It's SEBA Copa League. Halcones de Obregon is the name of the squad. I love to see him do his thing. Shout out to Mr. Greg Whittington, my man. All right, getting into NBA, y'all. Today, the last day of the NBA regular season. It's been action-packed. We got a lot of action going on today, all at the same time. That way, nobody can rest people just knowing who's playing and stuff. So I like the way the NBA did that. We're going to run down the line. I'm going to try to give you a lot, but of course, today, definitely going to be rough, but I don't see me not being able to get it done for you. All right. First game up is going to be the Magic going up against the Hawks. The Hawks, of course, they're set in the playoffs just like the Magic are. So this game for both of them, not a huge deal. I'm going to take the home team with the points, Atlanta plus the 2.5, and roll with that. The Celtics going up against the Hornets. Of course, we're going to talk about incentives when these games are being played here. So the Celtics have no incentive to win this game. The Hornets have absolutely no incentive to win this game. The Hornets are definitely going to be trying to lose the best they can to keep their seeding for that best pick available. So I'm going to take Boston to win this game minus the 10.5. Even though Boston is resting their entire starting 5, I just think Boston's last 5 is going to beat Charlotte's last 5. Next game up is going to be New York going up against Brooklyn. I already know Brooklyn. They're trying to lose this game. I'm going to take New York minus the 5.5 and roll with that. Next game up is the Indiana Pacers going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Another game with both teams pretty much going to sit both of their 5s. In this game here, I watched Cleveland's bench the other day play, and they were smoking. So I'm going to take Cleveland for sure, plus this 6.5. Ty Jerome and them, if they playing, I watched them get busy. They might win this game for sure. This might be a tricky money line pick here. Next game up is Miami going against Washington. Now, this is going to be our lock of the day, of course. I got to use Washington for something here. It's going to be Miami minus this 8.5. Washington, you know who they want. They need Cooper Flag down there. They're not going to risk it today. Miami, I don't care if they rest everybody in the building. Washington's going to figure out a way to get the job done for us here. Miami's going to be the pick. Next game up is going to be Chicago going against Philly. Same thing here. Philly has no incentive to win the game. Chicago, they already locked in the playoffs here. Philly, they absolutely have been tanking at the end of the year, so I don't think anything's going to change today. I'm going to roll with Chicago minus this 9.5, even though they probably going to rest all of their players as well. Next game up is going to be Detroit going up against the Bucks. This might actually be one of the games that people are actually playing in. But of course, once again, they're going to be watching the scoreboard. And as those scores start changing, they're going to be pulling players out. I'm going to go ahead and roll with Milwaukee in this game, plus the 8.5, even though once again, I know it's going to be tricky. Next game up is going to be Denver going up against Houston. Of course, Denver, they need this game. So Houston, they've already locked in their seed in here. So I don't think Houston's going to risk anything at all. Denver should run away with this game, minus the 9.5. And Denver, they're going to blast these people just to get a game to feel good going into the playoff. So I'm taking Denver to win by about 20 in this game. Next game up is going to be the Grizzlies going up against the Mavericks. Of course, the Mavericks, they just snuck in the playoffs with AD. Memphis, they need this game. This is going to be a tough fuck game here. They have Dallas favored by minus 1.5. I got to take the points, Memphis plus 1.5 in this game, and see what happens. Next game up is going to be the Jazz versus Timberwolves. Of course, Ant, he got that tech rescinded, so he could play if he wanted to, but no real incentive here for Minnesota to do anything. So I think Minnesota, they're rolling this game here. The Jazz, they have to lose this game to make sure they ensure that they can get the best possible chance at Cooper Flag here. They have a huge point spread in this game, 23.5. I'm actually going to take Minnesota to win the game by the 23.5, y'all. Next game up is going to be the Pelicans going up against the Thunder. Of course, the Thunder can rest everybody in the building. The Pelicans, they're down to just the ball boys playing. So we're going to take the Thunder in this game, minus the 12.5. Next game up is going to be Spurs going up against the Raptors. This is going to be Castle's last chance to show everybody what he's made of to get that Rookie of the Year. I expect a strong game out of him. San Antonio is actually the favorites, minus 4.5 in this game. I'm taking San Antonio. I expect a strong game out of Stephon Castle today. Next game up is going to be the Lakers going up against the Trailblazers. The Lakers are locked in their seeding over there in the West, so they're definitely not going to do anything to risk anything here. I think the Trailblazers, they'll get the job done here. They're minus 5.5. It's going to be Bronny James' show. If you're watching this game, take Bronny James in the over and whatever the points he has, he's definitely going to show out today. Next game and last game of the season is going to be Phoenix going up against Sacramento. This is another game that you could throw on there as a lock. Phoenix, they've been absolutely terrible here at the end of the year with KD out and them being eliminated from the playoffs. I don't see them doing anything more than just watching the young boys ball today. I think Sacramento, they need this game. They're favored to win this game at minus 15.5, and I definitely think they're going to get the job done today. Thank you again for tuning in today. This is the last day of the NBA regular season. It's been a long one. I'm looking forward to the NBA playoffs here, of course. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe this. Orioles, they're back on tap today. We're going to get that 2-game winning streak going. Of course, the NBA playoffs right around the corner. Good luck to everybody today in their games. Of course, big opportunity for you to make some money today. So good luck if you put some bets down. Please, if you haven't already, make sure you reach out to your family and friends. Check on them. Make sure they're doing okay. You never know when you're going to see them again. This is Adrian here on the 410.